Hello guys, Arlo here, and today I have something that I'm really excited to show you. So this is something that I've been working on for a little while now. Without further ado, let's roll him into shot. Today we are going to be having a look at none other than my Gauge 1 model of Duke the Lost Engine from Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. So Duke is based upon Prince, a 1 foot 11.5 inch gauge George England tank tender locomotive from the Festiniog Railway in Wales. But unlike Prince, however, he is built to the slightly wider gauge of 2 foot 3 inches, which is the same gauge as the Tallylyn and Corris Railway, etc. Duke first appeared in the Railway series book titled rather fittingly Duke the Lost Engine, and he made his television series debut in the season 4 episode Grandpuff. Duke is considered by many an icon of the golden age of Thomas, as he never appeared outside of season 4 with the sole exception of stock footage. So, moving on to the model itself. Duke is almost entirely 3D printed, and I designed him myself in Tinkercad using reference photos from Thomas Tank Merch on Twitter. They also now own the original Duke prop, which is a wonderful twist of fate. He's powered by a LEGO Power Functions train motor, and the receiver goes in his cab, and currently the battery box has to go in the coach behind him. But I'm currently working on a smaller rechargeable battery solution that can fit in his tender, and then it will be really nice because he will be able to be a self-contained locomotive, which is something I haven't had with my narrow gauge models yet. He is painted in a more Railway series inspired livery. As you can see, I left off the TV series yellow lining, and I also added, in an homage to the Reverend W. Awdry's model, a small MS on the tender in gold lettering, and that stands for Mid-Soda Railway, obviously. And although it's not canon to the drawings or the TV series model, the Reverend W. Awdry's own Duke model is like that, and I just thought that was a really nice touch. Moving to the front of Duke, you can see one of the most prominent features that's different from his TV series model is that he has a Corris Railway chopper or bar style coupling, and the way these work is basically this bar comes down, and then the hook, as you can see on Duke right here, from an opposing carriage would hook on right there. And essentially the bar keeps the carriages from smashing into each other for stopping or pushing, and it also provides a place for the hook to go. A little more primitive and a little more horse-drawn tramway, styled than dual buffers and a center screw-link coupling, but very much a Mid-Soda Railway feature of him. Moving up, we have a face that Pika Pika Steamworks on Twitter commissioned from someone. I don't know their name off the top of my head, and I helped him resize it down to the correct size. So I resized it for him, and I also made some other parts for his Duke model that he's building. And basically, he let me use his face in return. But it's a wonderful face, and it definitely gives Duke the character he needs. Obviously, he doesn't have an iMech currently, although there is plenty of empty space in here, as you might imagine. So an iMech is on the horizon for him. Duke's face, obviously, is a separate part, and it's removable. You see, it's just held on in the classic style of the television series with some poster putty. You can see inside, that's a bunch of about 6-8 really large nuts wired together, and that's currently the dead weight in him, keeping him from riding up the second he pulls any sort of load. I will eventually install a more proper, weight solution, maybe when I install the iMech, but for now it works great and you don't see it. Of course, I currently only have this one face mask completed. As you can see, the eyes are simply held in with double-sided tape for the moment, but I'm also working on some other facial expressions. As you can see here, this one's hasn't had anything done to it since off the printer. By the time you see him in any videos or projects, he will definitely have alternate faces. And so let's move on to the cab now, and this is an area where you will see mine greatly differs from the prop, in that the cab area is completely open, there's no blackouts in here, and inside, in place of an iMech servos, I have instead put a detailed cab back head. And as you can see too, it looks decent, as you can't, see it super well through the outside. You will also notice this gap between this back wall, and normally if that was glued on, that would look hideous and I wouldn't have it that way, but this comes off so I can take the receiver in and out of the cab. And then the pin that holds the drawbar for the tender is just right in there. Now, moving on to his tender, he has a load of real coal. You can also see the Mid-Soda MS decals that I alluded to earlier. And then of course, on the back, we have another functional chopper coupler. And real quick, I just wanted to show you Duke's whistle. I hand filed and shaped this whistle from a piece of brass rod, and I'm extremely happy with how it looks. It's a tiny bit on the slim side to be an accurate copy of the props whistle, but I really like how it turned out. And now one more quick thing that I wanted to touch on that I mentioned at the beginning that I haven't gotten to yet is that, of course, Duke is almost entirely 3D printed, with the exception of parts like the side rods, motor, handrails, whistle, and whatnot. He's printed on my Lulzbot Mini 2 in IC3D ABS and several large components, so the cab, saddle tank, running board, smoke box, and cylinders is one piece, separate funnel, dome, sandboxes, and then the tender is one body, and then a chassis and the side frames. And of course, since he was 3D printed in ABS, he's very strong, and I put him together with plastic weld, but he also, of course, it's 3D printed, so it's not, a smooth plastic card model. So a lot of sanding and painting and filling went into him, so I probably have a good 20-30 hours of just painting, sanding, and then adding some more paint and some filler and sanding it back down again. But it's just so nice to have him be so smooth and perfect, and I'm just so happy with Duke. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I certainly hope that you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, and please wear a mask. It's a scary world out there. Bye for now.
It's my show now, bitches!